Good morning, it's March 8th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Let's talk today about the vice presidency. It's kind of a secondary job, to say the least, and everybody gets in it and disappears from public view for the most part. But looking at the vice presidency, it can be one of two things. It can be a stepping stone to the presidency, or it can be a graveyard for people. And let's look at what happens to vice presidents. Most people who get on the ticket with somebody running for president hope that the next time around, they'll be the person up. Hasn't happened that much. Certainly George H.W. Bush became president after serving as Ronald Reagan's vice president, but Al Gore, after Clinton served 8 years and he was the vice president, lost to George W. Bush. Moving forward, Joe Biden thought he was next up when Obama was done, only to be pushed aside by Hillary Clinton. He then steps in later and wins after 4 years of the Trump presidency. And more than anything else, people were tired of Trump at that point and wanted to try somebody new. Polls show that the majority of people seem to be voting against Trump as for Joe Biden. So now here we are in 2024, and Donald Trump's got to figure out who his vice president's going to be. Joe Biden's going to stick with Kamala Harris. He can't dump her. And let's look back. Why did he take her? Obviously, Joe Biden desperately wanted the black vote, and he thought that Kamala Harris could help deliver that, and he needed that to win. She's been an absolute disaster as vice president, though. She can't make a sentence that makes any sense. She stumbles over the most easy of questions, and she's run through more staff than you can count. I mean, people just have a difficult time working for her. So where does that leave Donald Trump? There are a lot of people on the list that he would consider. You could look at Kirstie Noem, and I think she might have been on that list, but in her latest book, where she admits to killing a dog, that book's not going to fly anymore, and so she's off the list, I think. You look at the governor of North Dakota, another billionaire, and you think, can we put Doug on there? No, that'd be two billionaires running, and that's not going to look good for demographics. So let's scratch him out. You have Elise Stefanik, the congresswoman from New York. She's a Harvard graduate. She worked in the Bush administration. She's been in the House for about 10 years, and I don't think it's any secret she's actively campaigning for the job. She was a sort of moderate conservative when she got elected, but she's moved further and further to the right, trying to get closer and closer to Trump. But certainly she's somebody that might be looked at. I don't know that she would help him get any votes. She's from New York, and Trump's not going to win New York. She might help him. She's only 40 years old with some younger voters, but as she gets closer to Trump, her position on abortion has been modified, and so therefore that might hurt her with suburban women. Won't be particularly attractive. Marco Rubio, his name gets thrown out there. I don't see him as a viable candidate. There is a constitutional issue, both now living in Florida. Now, I think you get by that, but what does Marco Rubio really bring, and is he willing to give up his Senate seat? And I don't think he's ready to do that. Then you look over at Tim Scott. Now, I think Tim Scott right now would be the favorite to get the job. He's been in the Senate. He is a moderately conservative Republican, and he's African American, and that would help with the black vote. You would hope. And now he's not going to deliver South Carolina. Trump's got that locked up. But could you send Tim Scott into, say, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit, and in campaigning? And make no mistake, in a vice presidential debate, he would clean Kamala Harris's clock. He's far more articulate, and she talks and rambles around in multi-syllable words that even she doesn't understand. So Tim Scott is somebody that would be, I think, considered for the job and has to be one of the front runners. What Trump's got to look at is who can help him the most. And I think that is Tim Scott in the end that can help him. I don't see the others bringing anything to the table that would help him beat Joe Biden. And when it comes down to the race, most of the states we know are locked up. And so it's down to those 6 to 7 key states and who can help him in Wisconsin, where it's a close race. He's basically tied with Biden in Wisconsin. Certainly Tim Scott campaigning in Milwaukee might attract some more black votes. Michigan, another key swing state, has a large African American population as well as Arab population. Tim Scott could help him there in Detroit. Certainly could help him in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. He could help him in Georgia, probably in Arizona and Nevada. So these are key states that both candidates are trying to win, and that's where a vice presidency ticket holder, if he can help bring a state, bring some electoral votes into the column, then that choice can be pretty easy for whoever does it. And so as I look at them all, and there might be some wild cards out there we haven't talked about yet, I think Tim Scott looks to be the best choice for Donald Trump right now. And in the end, I think he'll be the choice. It's been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.